Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Shooting the Shit with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today I want to know your opinion on something. Who is the most important firearms designer of our time or before? Who do you think is the most influential gun designer ever that has had the most effect, or maybe just invented the most important single thing? Who do you think is number one? I'll start us off, and I don't think I'll surprise anyone when I say I think Samuel Colt. If it wasn't for Samuel Colt, most of the guns that I love the most wouldn't exist the way they exist today. He was a forerunner in revolver technology, advancement, making them more practical, usable, more common. So Colt is definitely, and people think I'm saying cult, but I'm saying Colt. Colt is, to me, probably the most important designer of our time. So that's my answer. I didn't want to say it before because I didn't want to influence anybody, but there's so many options. I can't wait to see who says what. So let's get over here and see if anybody's weighing in with their options. First person weighing in here is Edgar Cortez. He said, Gaston Glock, I think he meant, not Block, designed the handgun in 1982 that has influenced many other designers of modern handguns. And that is true. In fact, when we were talking options before the chat started, I was like, that's one of the options I mentioned. I would say that would be a very strong case for that. Oops, that was not the first person weighing in. That's just the first one I read, but it looks like I got out of order here. Let's see here. The first one was actually ATF, Aaron Talks Firearms, and he said John Moses Browning. Invented a lot of guns. A lot of them are still popular today, much like Samuel Colt. So he's definitely, I think he's one probably most people think of when they think of an influential gun designer. Tim Allen said John Moses Browning, of course. So seeing a trend here. Ghost Shadow also said John Moses Browning. And did you get the baby bird photos? I did. I'll show them during the second chat. Sean Bain also said John Moses Browning. He said Moses Browning, but I'm sure he means Moses. This is getting to be pretty boring right now, repetitious. John Heasley said, I'll say Samuel Colt to give a different answer. I agree with that answer. I think you gave the right answer. I don't know how you managed to give the right answer, but it seems like you did. Mikey D said Oliver Winchester, 1873 Winchester, the gun that saved the West. Don't forget Sarah Winchester. Thought her house was haunted, never stopped adding. Yeah, well, the Winchester house was a very famous landmark. She was told as long as she kept adding on to the house, the ghost of every person ever killed by a Winchester rifle would leave her alone. But if she ever stopped construction, they would all come at her. And she believed it, so she kept adding on to that house. There's doorways that go nowhere, steps that lead to nothing, just always something being added. John Browning got a high-power clone in his honor. You got a high-power clone in his honor. Yes, he started that design. I don't believe he finished it, but that was his baby. That was his baby. Now we got Mike White, 2A Advocacy, said Pietro Beretta for the open top slide design. That's a good choice. I'm a very big fan of Berettas. I do like their work. And they are a different functioning gun than how most semi-automatics work. A lot of people aren't aware of that, but they function a little different. There's Edgar Cortez. That's the one I read thinking it was the first one. It was not. It was just the one on my screen. Richard Wilson said John Moses Browning and Carbine Williams. That was his nickname, I do believe, but his name was actually David Marshall. My name, Williams. Let's see. Then we got George Powell weighing in and said, SIG for the P365. 10 rounds in a gun that size. Well, are they the first to really make a good one in that size with that many rounds? But I don't know. But they definitely did make a good one, and they definitely did influence a lot of guns to come after. Look at all the guns that are coming out now that are very much influenced by the P365. So that's a valid argument, I would say. Practical Bacon says, has to be the people at Kel-Tec. They always make me say, good God, what is that? Well, yeah, but I don't know if that's the most influence on it. That's not a good thing. Although I do say that the guy who's done a lot of their designs and a lot of the earlier stuff they based their guns on, he's a great designer, and occasionally someone else takes his work and makes a real gun out of it. Not a Kel-Tec. That's usually a good thing when that happens. David Ford, Peter Kellgren surpassed everything John Moses Browning has ever done. The P10 rules. Hail Phil. And you misspelled Phil. He's not going to take kindly to that. He is not going to take kindly to you misspelling his name. Practical Bacon says, in seriousness, the Mauser brothers. More obscure for most people, but well known in the gun community. Next we got Jacoby, Japan. I don't know why he said Japan. Glock built his whole company on a design, ? Well, I don't know if that's a question mark. That's yes, he did. And that design was very influential. Very, very influential. Very, very influential. John of all trades said John Moses Browning making guns reload themselves. Well, yeah, that's a big thing. That auto loading is a very important feature, although I don't think it's necessary. I prefer revolvers. So I don't give that as much credit as some people would. Not as important to me. Mike White, 2A Advocacy, said Eugene Morrison Stoner for the AR-15. I was wondering if someone was going to say Stoner. I didn't know if anybody would or wouldn't. I was just going to wait and see. Wait and see. Felice Shanice weighed in. Maxim gun is a recoil-operated machine gun invented in 1884 by Hiram Stevens Maxim. Remember that Maxim? Wasn't there one out recently that was a similar name that was like had a suppressor built into it? What was that thing called? Wasn't that called like the Maxim or something too? I don't know. We got one more person weighing in here. One more person weighing in with their response here. And it is Chugga D77. And he said, Henry Derringer. I guess for designing the Derringer, I guess. Or he designed the Model T. I don't remember which one it was. You get them confused. A lot of Henrys in the old days. I never tell them all apart. I just know most of them were Nazis, like Henry Ford. But that looks like that's going to be it for us today. Thanks everybody for weighing in over here. Got a lot of Brownings, but I'm glad we got some other options over there too. Some people who came up with some things. I think there was a whole lot more options that didn't get mentioned. But you know, maybe we'll do a part 2. Maybe who's everybody's second most influential gun designer. But that's going to do it for us today. How about you out there in YouTube land? What do you think? Who do you think is the most influential gun designer of our age or even before? Let me know in the comments section. And if you want to weigh in on one of these topics in person, come to our live chat. We do them every day at 6. Come in, talk about the topic at hand. Then stick around for the open chat that we do immediately afterwards. We don't go anywhere, so don't you go anywhere. Stick around for that. Talk about whatever you like. I want to thank everybody here for weighing in today. Hope to see everybody again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again. Hey everybody, Yankee here. Before we go, I just want to take a second to remind everyone that this channel is 100% viewer funded. We don't take a penny from advertisers, retailers. We don't take money from political organizations. There's no one telling me what I need to tell you. Everything that we do is done through the generosity of our viewers, either buying merchandise or becoming a patron or a Subscribe Star member. You're all the ones that support Pets and Vets and TYMP. And that's the reason I can stay true to myself and loyal only to the people who watch my channel. And I can spend my time talking about what I want to talk about, telling what I think needs to be said, and giving you my uncensored take on things I think you need to hear. So if you'd like to help keep things that way, please support the channel by becoming a patron, a Subscribe Star supporter, or just going over to my web store and buying some merch. The links are all in the upper corner of this video.